And according to the BBC report, the specimens will answer as if they were still alive. That's good, isn't it? I'm glad the BBC made that clear, because I thought they'd be replying as if they were still dead.
The AI fix a digital zoo. Smart machines, what will they do? Flies to Mars or bake a bad cake? World domination, a silly mistake. Bots with brains.
Hello, and welcome to episode 21 of the AI Fix, your weekly dive headfirst into the bizarre and sometimes downright mind-boggling world of artificial intelligence. My name's Graham Cluley.
And I'm Mark Stockley.
Now, Mark, last week we left the show on a bit of a cliffhanger, which caused some concern amongst some of our listeners. Can you remind us exactly what happened?
So last week was our 20th show, and we had agreed between us that when we started this, that we would take a pause at 20 episodes and just say, should we carry on? Have we run out of things to say? I mean, frankly, I'm amazed that we managed to string our AI knowledge into 20 episodes. But yeah, it seems like some people want us to carry on.
Don't panic, everyone. Thank you very much for all the feedback we did get and the lovely thoughts and some reviews which people posted and a desperate plea for us to continue. I think we'll keep on going for a while now. Now, meanwhile, we've also had some news from
World of the Weird.
Fan of the show, Kaitan Kazimachak, and I did check the pronunciation on ChatGPT, got in touch on Twitter to bring the Therminator to our attention.
The Therminator? Is this Arnold Schwarzenegger with a thermos flask? What's the Therminator?
I wish it was. The Therminator is a robot dog made by a company called Flame. And if you hadn't guessed already, it's a robot dog with a flamethrower on its back. Definitely take a look at this.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Oh my God, this thing's terrifying, Mark.
I mean, it's literally a robot dog with a flamethrower on its back, isn't it?
What's the use for this?
There are two videos, and in one of the videos, there's actually some amusing comments, and people do ask questions, perfectly valid questions, like, what is the point in this? And somebody said home defense. I'm like, what? You don't know what happens to your home if you try and defeat a burglar by using a flamethrower, don't you? But anyway, that isn't the weird part.
Right.
As weird as this is, that's not the weird part. So it's not so much for me that there's a robot dog with a flamethrower or that a robot dog with a flamethrower exists, because I fully expect to see one in Ukraine.
Oh, right.
The weird part is that this is just some US company that's openly selling burn me to death murder dogs to US citizens. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, is it legal to own a flamethrower in the USA? And it said, owning a flamethrower is generally legal under federal law in the United States. Flamethrowers are not classified as firearms by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives.
They literally are fire armaments, aren't they? I mean, they are armaments which use fire. And that was this week's
World of the Weird.
Should we do some news?
AI smart glasses read your emotions and watch what you eat.
Three-armed robot conductor makes debut in Dresden.
Introducing Mufflin, an AI-powered limbless guinea pig.
Google buys nuclear reactors to power AI data centers.
Sotheby's to auction painting of Alan Turing, painted by a robot.
The inventor of the suicide pod wants AI to help us kill ourselves.
Oh, cheerful. So, shall we start with that one then?
So this guy, Dr. Philip Nitschke, has invented a 3D printed suicide pod called Sarco, named after sarcophagus.
Oh, I thought it
You think it was sarcastic?
I thought it'd kill you through sarcasm. You used all the tricks. Litotes, sarcasm.
Well, that might make you want to kill yourself. Anyway, so Nitschke is advocating for AI to assist in end-of-life decisions. He thinks that medics are gatekeeping assisted suicide, and he wants AI to handle the process instead.
Get an AI to help if you're deciding whether to end your life. It can't decide how many R's there are in the word strawberry.
I'm sensing that you may not be fully on board with this.
Just a little bit of caution is all I'm asking for. Now, apparently there are some new smart glasses that are going to solve all of our problems. According to a report in Wired again, MTech Labs.
Oh.
They haven't gone down the route of the eye X-ray glasses we spoke about in episode 19. They can tell who someone is and tell you their address and phone number and other scary details just by looking at them. These new smart glasses look in, not out.
Oh.
So they've got sensors in them which are watching you, and they can supposedly tell how you are feeling based upon your facial expression. So you might have a facial expression which says, I've just spent $200 on a pair of smart glasses. Therefore, I'm feeling rather upset with myself.
Doesn't it then tell you how you're feeling?
Well, yeah, it collects all that information, and so it can be downloaded, and you can find out when you were feeling depressed, presumably, after you went into that shop. So they can tell how you're feeling based on your expression, because, humans have never been able to tell how someone's feeling by looking at them.
But this is how you feel. This is not about you looking at someone else and saying, how do they feel?
Yes.
Which can be difficult.
Now, I think they're claiming that this may be useful by some neurodivergent people who may not know how they're coming across. So their spectacles could tell them that maybe they're frowning a bit too much or smiling at an awkward point. But they can also apparently tell if you are chewing food through these sensors.
Again, do people have a problem knowing when they're chewing food?
You laugh, Mark, but yes, some people do. Because this could be helpful, because maybe you are shoveling food into your mouth much too often, or you are chewing too quickly. And apparently there is also an outward-facing camera which can monitor how much food, and presumably with AI.
So that's just looking at the plate.
Tell if it's a cream bun or not that you're putting in. So, yeah, anyway, don't worry about privacy. They say all of this intimate data is being beamed off your face. It'll be completely safe, only used for good. And maybe we'll stop you eating so much and looking so grumpy all the time.
So classical music has acquired its equivalent of Spinal Tap's amps that go up to 11, a 3-armed conductor named Myra Pro S, which recently took centre stage with the Dresden Symphony Orchestra. It was playing a piece that uses cross rhythms. I don't know what cross rhythms are. I just read that.
Okay.
It was using cross rhythms that are impossible for human conductors to conduct. And I thought, this is all rather wholesome and creative until I read this part of the Guardian article, which says each arm has 7 joints, allowing it to move and stretch in all directions. Mm-hmm. So it's like one of those, those robots that build cars.
Yeah.
But if she gets a little too forceful, slamming down on a beat, a safety mechanism kicks in to prevent her from doing any damage to herself or the musicians.
What?
They just snuck that in there.
Presumably they know how long the arms of this conductor are. Could they not just put the orchestra a little bit further away?
If it starts reaching, then you've got a problem.
Or if it starts chucking its baton at the violin section in disgust. So, good news, Mark. If you are an emotionally stunted millennial who needs a ridiculously overpriced gadget in your life, because...
Is this more glasses?
No, not more glasses. This is a furry blob, produced by Casio. It is a furry blob they have called Mofflin.
Right.
It wriggles. It makes noises. It performs all the functions of a normal, limbless pet guinea pig, aside from defecating and costing you a fortune in insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, are you familiar with the movie Boxing Helena?
Is that the one where somebody keeps a woman in a box by cutting all her arms and legs off?
Yeah, Julian Sands chops off Sherilyn Fenn's arms and legs. So this is a blob, which is there to amuse you.
Uh-huh.
And the sales pitch seems to be that you should forget therapy and self-care or actual human connection. Instead, just shell out $400. Oh, plus a $44 annual subscription fee for repairs to this furball.
For repairs?
Yes, for repairs.
I mean, this thing doesn't sound very energetic, so...
No, well,
whatever repairs it needs are presumably inflicted upon it by its human owner.
I think so, because it enjoys snuggling. So I imagine there's some sort of bedtime cuddling. Maybe you'd roll over and squash it.
So they're expecting $44 worth of annual snuggling injuries.
That's right. It looks a bit like a tribble.
What shape is this?
Well, it's a guinea pig shape, but without the legs.
So sort of long and thin with a pointy end.
Well, sort of furry blob. You should check out a video. I think you're going to love this, actually, because it is very, very cute indeed.
一緒にのんびりしたり
Looks like a rabbit with no ears.
Or no mouth.
It is a bit Boxing Helena.
Isn't
I'm
it?
starting to wonder if it's a real rabbit.
So would you want a Mofflin?
No, I want a real human connection with a genuine human being. This is basically Friend, isn't it?
It is.
But it's furry, and instead of texting you to say, that looks like a nice sandwich, it just mews at you.
Mew.
In a first-of-its-kind deal, Google is bringing together two technologies with the capacity to end human existence. Artificial intelligence and nuclear fission.
Oh, it's like eggs and bacon. It's like...
So it's ordered up to 7 small nuclear reactors from California's Kairos Power, and the first one is supposed to be completed by 2030, and the rest of them done by 2035, if we're still here. So the good news is it's combining these two existential risks in order to prevent the third, climate catastrophe. So, of course, it needs lots and lots of energy to power its data centers, and its data centers are basically AI. And it really, really needs carbon-free energy to get its climate commitments back on track, because as we've talked about a few times, Google's carbon emissions are going through the roof, and it says it's going to be net zero by 2030.
Are these going to be nuclear power plants which are actually controlled by AI? Because that would save some money, wouldn't it? Rather than having humans in. And humans make mistakes, whereas we all know AI doesn't make mistakes, which is why we put it in charge now of whether we should kill ourselves or not, and other important questions.
Maybe, just imagining a control room full of Mofflins now.
Do you think Google have actually just bought themselves an enormous sarcopod?
They bought us an enormous
they bought the world a sarcopod. Yeah, great. So a robot artist called Aida has painted what is described as a haunting portrait of Alan Turing.
So it's not very good.
Yeah, exactly. Haunting as in, what the bloody hell is that? Anyway, Sotheby's reckon that they can auction off this painting for $180,000.
Haven't they heard of NFTs? I think they're pitching a bit low there.
So I've read this news report about Aida, and I've got an actual picture of the robot. She's got cameras for eyes, hydraulic hands, probably a flamethrower attached to her back as well. She's got an artistic bob, and you can tell she's a painter because she wears dungarees.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes they're creating robots which they go out of their way to look kind of human and young and female and kind of like, ooh, sexy sci-fi robot.
Yeah.
She's a bit like that, but she has creepy hydraulic hands. Well, what's going on here? Sotheby's claiming to sell a painting like this. Who's going to buy this?
Bezos is going to buy it.
It'll be the people who
hang it in his loo.
People who've got more money than sense and they can't buy enough Mofflins.
Can a Mofflin hold a paintbrush?
No, a Mofflin can't do anything.
It could be a paintbrush.
It could be.
What if you've got like 3 or 4 Mofflins? I'd buy that.
If you
dip them in paint.
Inserted a chopstick into one of these Mofflins, dip it in a pot of paint. Now, back in episode 7 of the AI Fix, I talked about a $10 million prize that had been put up for grabs. If anyone could create an AI that could truly talk to the animals.
Oh, yes.
And we thought, oh, wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? But no one's ever going to make that, are they? No one's going to be capable of doing that. Well, here we are, episode 21, just a couple of months later. And would you believe someone has successfully done it?
No, I don't believe it. No.
Well, good, because you shouldn't believe it because they haven't. But that hasn't stopped some folks from claiming you can communicate with animals using AI, even dead animals. The University of Cambridge, no less.
I've heard of them.
Yes, you would look up to them normally as being reliable, as you'd think, that's good. They're academics.
Yeah.
Well, they revealed last week that they were allowing visitors to their Museum of Zoology to have two-way chats with animals on display using AI.
So when you say animals on display, like I'm imagining, I go to London Zoo and there's a big open pen full of penguins. I can type something into a console and then a penguin lights up and freezes and here's what I've just typed in penguin language.
Yes.
And then it says fish or something.
Which is the main vocabulary of a penguin, isn't it?
Principal topic of conversation amongst penguins.
So the Museum of Zoology isn't quite doing that. These are two-way chats, they claim, with dead animals. Again, stretching credibility a little bit here.
How is the animal represented or present within this?
Well, it will apparently respond back to you with a voice or via text. And according to the BBC report, the specimens will answer as if they were still alive. That's good, isn't it? I'm glad the BBC made that clear because I thought they'd be replying as if they were still dead, in which case, of course, it would be silence. Whereas if they were still alive, they'll be saying, moo, ah. But no, the University of Cambridge claims you can have a dialogue with a dodo, a natter with a narwhal, a rap with a red panda, or a chit-chat with a cockroach?
With a dead cockroach.
With a dead cockroach, yes.
Talking to live cockroaches is so episode 7.
So, as the BBC said, they all answer as if they were still alive.
Yeah.
And it was while I was reading this, and I was feeling rather sceptical as to actually what this experience may be like. I'll let listeners decide what they imagine this actually be like. That I heard about another firm which claims to have made a major step forward in communicating with cats and dogs. It's a company called Personify AI, and they've brought out a range of pet collars that will, and I quote, allow your pet to awaken its inner human. Now, I don't like the idea of any pets having an inner human.
It's illegal in most territories.
Oh, please. Exactly. Yes, there are some corners of the internet where that may go on. I don't like to think about it. The collar, which has been called Shazam, clearly by someone who's never heard of a trademark lawyer, because I think there's already some very well-known Shazams.
You think there's some IP around Shazam?
I think possibly they're going to have a bit of trouble with that. But anyway, they've boldly gone forward. Maybe they spoke to a lawyer as if they were still alive. Maybe they contacted a dead lawyer and communicated with him via AI as to whether that was safe or not. But anyway, they've called it Shazam, and it claims to make two-way conversation with living animals possible. So this is clearly an upgrade from what the University of Cambridge is doing. Now, reporter Andy Boxall of Digital Trends, he says that he has actually seen this in action, and if he hadn't seen it working, he would doubt it was real. Now, I'm not sure what the reporter thinks was real from the Zoom call he had with the CEO's dog via Shazam, but it definitely was not a dog actually talking. Let me say that with some confidence.
Right.
Now, let me tell you about the tech involved here, right? So this is an AI pet collar.
Right.
It's a band which connects around the animal's neck. In the promotional video on the Shazam website, not that Shazam, they suggest, surprisingly, they don't own that one. Anyway, they suggest you can use it on dogs and cats.
Yeah.
And the promotional video also suggests parrots, which is odd because I thought parrots could already talk to you more successfully probably than this collar can. But anyway, the Shazam, not that one, the Shazam band has various sensors inside it, including a 6-axis gyroscope.
Right. So it can tell if the dog is upside down.
GPS.
Can tell where the dog is in space.
A temperature sensor. A speaker. And a microphone.
Ah, well, that microphone seems quite important.
Yes, because if you do hear a song and you think, I wonder what that song is, you can press a button on your Shazam band and it will go, oh, no, that's the other Shazam, isn't it? That's not this Shazam. Never mind. So the point is that if you talk to your pet, or rather you talk to the collar, obviously, what it will do is you will hear back a pre-recorded human voice responding to you, completely and utterly tricking you into believing that your pet has learnt how to speak English.
Does it tell you the pet's latitude and longitude and its orientation in 3 dimensions?
Now, there is a slight issue, which is that your pet won't actually understand anything of what you are saying to it. But Shazam, not that one, isn't worried about that.
Yeah.
Apparently, all the dog or the cat will hear is this strange voice coming from their neck. And what you hear back from the collar won't be what the pet wants to say, obviously, but rather what the collar wants to say. So I would say this isn't really awakening the inner human inside your pet. This is just putting an Alexa speaker, sellotaping it tightly round the neck of your Chihuahua and having a chat with it.
So basically, robots have found a way of becoming portable without having to build a young female humanoid first.
That's right. So how is the collar going to work out what to say? And I thought, they'll chuck it up into the cloud. There'll be some LLM. There'll be an equivalent of ChatGPT here. No. That's not what they're doing. So the boss of Shazam, a guy called John McHale, he says that we are measuring all sorts of things with the Shazam band about the human, about the pet, about the world. He says all these variables, they're ongoing all the time. They're changing. There's input. We call it our cognitive cortex, he says.
Is one of the things they're measuring what the dog says?
No. They're not looking at that. They may be looking at noise. Maybe they're even identifying a bark. But he says, based upon machine learning and large data sets, we will know what to respond. And so what he has done is he has got some voice artists to record 8,000 lines of likely dialogue that your pet dog or pet cat would like to say.
Right.
And it has that pre-recorded on the band. And there are 27 different characters, he says, each with a different persona. There's a witty Southern belle, they say. There's, I know, you just think instantly, that is not going to be any good.
Morning, Dixie. You hungry?
Good morning to you too, Sugar. You're as sweet as pie for asking if I'm hungry. I am a little peckish now that you mention it.
It's a bit like when you buy a new doorbell, and you know how it comes with 38 different chimes? And all of them are awful, other than the one which just goes ding-dong. And you never use any chime.
Yeah.
And similarly with this, it's got 27 characters. It can be a fast-talking mafia boss. It can be a quick-witted one. You just think, no, that's going to age really, really badly. Now, this guy, John McHale, the CEO of the company making the Shazam band, he hopes that a version of the band will eventually also be available for humans.
Do you have a troublesome human in your life? Do you wish they had a different tone of voice, a different personality, and were saying different things to you?
Who is going to buy? Who's going to wear one? What? So if you're not able to be wittier than a witty Southern belle or a fast-talking mafia boss,
With 8,000 canned phrases.
yes, if you don't have 8,000 canned phrases, you can wear one of these tightly around your neck. Maybe a little bit tighter would be a good idea. A bit tighter. Yeah, go on, tighten it up. Anyway, I'm not sure anyone actually needs this for themselves or for their pet.
I don't know. I think that they should go into business with Casio. Because I think the thing that the Mofflin is very obviously missing is a Southern accent and 8,000 pithy phrases. Because, it's cute and all, but it is just basically says like, mule, mule, doesn't it?
So I'm not sure anyone really needs this.
Yeah.
It does also have a rattlesnake detector, apparently. So that's quite a niche requirement.
That sounds very useful.
So apparently John McHale, the CEO, he said he was going out with his dog and it had some trouble with a rattlesnake. So he's also incorporated into the AI a rattlesnake detector. Now, you're probably itching to buy one of these for your chickens, aren't you, Mark?
I've no desire to hear what my chickens have got to say.
How much would you be prepared to pay for something like this?
For my chickens?
Or for you?
Oh, for a troublesome friend? I would say,
yes.
I don't know, I would be willing to pay, let's say $75. So they're probably charging $150.
Yeah, they're actually charging $595 for this pet collar, which has the irritating pre-recorded messages. That gives you 1 year's access.
Oh.
If you decide you get fed up with the witty Southern belle, then that's going to cost you $99 each time you want to change the voice. Oh, and there's also a $295 annual subscription. Absolute bargain. Absolute bargain. I think this will be a big success, much more popular than Mofflin. I think...
That's the new bar. More successful than the Mofflin.
I think...
Shazam! It's more successful than the Mofflin.
Well, the only problem is the Shazam nade. That is going to get them in trouble. I'm predicting that. They could have done better. I mean, why not call it the Woof Bot? Or, you'll like this one, the Mew-O-Lingo.
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Are you one of the 28 voices? Is this is...
I have heard some of the voices. I mean, frankly, you would have to pay me to sit there for more than 20 seconds in the company of one of these things. And your dog is probably going to be ordering a sarcopod online if you put one of these on it.
So, Graham, 2024 has been a busy year for elections.
Yes.
And by the time this year is finished, 2 billion people will have voted.
Wow.
We're both in the UK. We had our election earlier this year. But I've become aware that there is another important election happening in another country imminently.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the vote for who should be treasurer at my chess club, which is turning quite edgy, I have to say.
Is it a bit mustard,
yes.
A bit spicy? No, I am talking, of course, about the November the 5th presidential election. I've been following developments across the pond with interest, and I'm starting to worry that I might not be able to trust what I read online.
Oh.
You see, it turns out that there are politicians and some people who might not be entirely truthful or honest.
Right.
And some of those untruthful people are trying to use AI to tip the scales in their favour.
That sounds outrageous.
On October the 9th, OpenAI published a report called Influence and Cyber Operations, an update, which explains how it's disrupted various people or groups who've tried to use its GPT models for bad things.
Okay.
And it says that since the beginning of the year, it's disrupted more than 20 operations and deceptive networks from around the world that attempted to use its models. As an example, one campaign that originated outside the US used ChatGPT to create long-form articles and Twitter posts that attempted to sway people's opinions about the candidates in the US election.
Right.
There was another campaign by a different group that tried to use ChatGPT to influence the election in Rwanda. And pretty much any trouble spot or troubled area that you can imagine, or any kind of contentious election that's happening anywhere in the world, seems to have been the subject of somebody trying to use ChatGPT to tip the scales.
Yeah.
Anyway, it seems that most attempts to use ChatGPT to produce propaganda actually fall on their face. And I learned that there is a scale for measuring the success of influence campaigns called the breakout scale, which unusually goes from 1 to 6. Doesn't start with 0, so it wasn't created by engineers. And OpenAI says that none of the election-related operations it disrupted scored more than 2 on the breakout scale, which basically means they were all massive damp squibs.
Yeah.
But don't let that fool you into thinking that AI is no good at propaganda. Because number 5 on the breakout scale is when an idea receives celebrity amplification.
Oh, dear.
And that is exactly what happened when your celebrity crush, Mr. Elon Musk, Space Karen himself, posted a parody Kamala Harris campaign ad, which has now been viewed 136 million times. Now, the ad uses parts of a real campaign ad and an AI-generated deepfake voice that starts the voiceover by saying,
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility of the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say...
I don't know that anyone would believe this was anything other than a joke or a piece of satire, would they?
But I guess the point is, if you think that jokes and satire can have a political impact, and that's something that we've believed for a few hundred years,
yes,
then you can influence, maybe softly, maybe gently, an election. And I guess there's a question then about, is it a bad thing that you can influence the election? Because surely people are trying to persuade other people about their ideas.
Yeah.
Now, the original post only got 6 million views, but the Musk retweet pushed that to 136 million. And because it was Elon Musk, the media also covered this post extensively. So they amplified it even further in their outrage. Now, it's easy to get attention if you're Elon Musk and you've got 200 million Twitter followers and you own the algorithm. But Graham, what if you want to tip the scales?
Ooh.
What if you feel the need to tweet a parody video of Trump or spread some disinformation to even the score?
What if I deep-faked Elon Musk and put a little video to, just for a little bit of a joke, making a satirical point about him?
Well, if you want to do that, you're in luck. Because this week, 404 Media wrote about a prototype app that could help you. It's called Impact, and it comes with a fantastically tedious video explainer.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Impact to ask your supporters to post a video on TikTok. So we're here in the Impact console.
I've watched it, so you don't have to.
Thank you.
Now, Impact's creators describe it as a volunteer fire department for the digital world. And by fires, they don't mean actual fires.
Right.
They mean ideas you don't agree with. And by department, they mean a list of people's names.
Okay, what they're doing is they're just using random words at this point to describe themselves. I still don't understand what their idea of a fire department is.
It works like this. Let's say you've got an organisation with a point of view and a bunch of people have agreed to help you spread your message to combat Elon.
Yes. Right, okay.
Perhaps you're politically affiliated.
Okay.
So perhaps you're browsing the web and you see a satirical video about your favourite presidential candidate, and it's been posted by a billionaire man-child and it's been viewed 100 million times.
Right.
Well, you don't have to put up with that. You go to the app, Impact, and you use an AI natural language prompt to choose a group of people from your list of volunteers. So you're picking from your list. So maybe you type people who don't like Elon, or people who like cat memes, or people who like cat memes but don't like Elon. And so you end up with a list of people, and then you type in some talking points. So maybe you want to point out that Elon Musk has got a bad haircut, or maybe you've got a satirical video of your own.
Okay.
And when they sign up to help you, each of the people on your list is given a seed phrase, and that describes the kind of posts that they're going to create. So a seed phrase might be something like sassy, medium length, use lots of emojis. So it's just like a brief description of a typical post from that person.
Right. Okay.
Okay? So you create your talking points, you recruit your little army of people, and you upload your video, and then you send a push notification to all of the people on your list, literally telling them to post this video.
Right.
And each person gets the video, and they get some unique text that an AI has created by smushing together your talking points and their seed phrases. So everyone gets a version of your message and an instruction to post it, but it all looks a bit more organic than a bot farm. A bit.
Yeah, a bit. So what I'm confused about, so you've got all these accounts now which are posting up a video and they're using their own wording or whatever to describe it and their own humour or whatever. But if these are all bots...
No, these are people.
Oh, these are people. So there are other real people who are following them.
Yeah, so there are real people who have signed up to help you in your political discourse.
Oh, I see.
And they're going to amplify for you.
Oh.
But you tell them precisely what to do and what to post, or your AI tells them precisely what to do and precisely what to post.
And they do this because they agree with your political stance, or because...
Maybe they like being told what to do by robots.
Okay, right. Okay.
I mean, the weird thing for me is at the end of the day, this is a bot farm. It's just that the bots are meat avatars rather than software. But if they're just unthinkingly doing the bidding of someone with an AI, then how really is it different from just having a bunch of sock puppet accounts just barfing out messages for you? Now, Impact says that it's not bad because bad people use coordinated inauthentic behavior, whereas Impact empowers coordinated authentic behavior. Although I'm not sure how authentic it is to let a robot tell you what to say. That seems a little inauthentic. Anyway, it seems to me that the only way that you can be really authentic and to find out what candidates really think and really believe in these days is to ask them directly. Now, unfortunately, the AI fixed budget wouldn't quite stretch to the $100,000 or so that you need to get a top-tier fundraiser ticket, which would guarantee access to the candidates so we could ask them questions.
Oh.
But I have found the next best thing.
Okay.
So an AI developer in San Francisco called Ying Cho Mak has created an AI-powered website called Ask Trump and Harris Anything, and it lets you put questions to AI versions of the candidates.
Oh, perfect. Probably get a better answer than asking the real thing, right?
So for anybody interested in the nerdy bits, the creator has used Google's Gemini 1.5 Flash as the base model, and then they fine-tuned separate instances of it for each candidate. So there's a Trump model and a Harris model, and they use content from their speeches, they use their campaign websites and public statements, and they also gave the models the candidates' biographies and a bunch of information about their policies. So finally, we can ask the presidential candidates anything we want. So, Graham, what should we ask Trump and Harris? I think there's only one question that I want to know the answer to.
Okay, what do you want to know?
How many R's are there in strawberry? The one thing I don't like about this is not quick.
You mean it's a bit like Joe Biden?
My Trump accent isn't very good. However, we can turn to AI for that too. So there's a website called fakeyou.com, and it's got a selection of Trump voices, including Angry Trump. So I thought we could try that.
Does that just mean regular Trump? Or just...
So there are 3 Trumps. There's an angry Trump, a casual Trump, and a sarcastic Trump.
Okay.
But the angry Trump is easily the best. So I'm going to play this angry Trump.
So this is how many R's are there in the word strawberry?
I haven't talked about strawberries recently, so I can't say for sure. But let me tell you, folks, the Democrats are trying to distract us from the real issue.
It isn't bad, is it? It's a little bit too coherent, I think, is my problem with it. It doesn't sort of ramble off course too much. Start talking about Hannibal Lecter.
It got about halfway through the answer and gave up. I think that was Angry Trump's had enough. Now, no surprise that there's a Donald Trump voice out there because he's been around a while and he's got a very distinct way of speaking. But there is also a fake Kamala Harris voice, which I found at neats.ai.
Oh, that's a fun question. I haven't talked about the letter R in strawberry recently.
It does sound a bit like her.
I'm pretty good at counting. So let me see. There appear to be 2 R's in strawberry.
There appear to be 2 R's in strawberry. So that's how you know there really is an AI at work underneath there.
Well, as the doomsday clock ticks ever closer to midnight and we move 1 week nearer to our future as pets to the AI singularity, that just about wraps up the show for this week. If you enjoyed the show, there's a number of ways in which you can help us. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Podchaser. That's absolutely lovely. But what really helps is if you make sure to follow the show in your favourite podcast app so you never miss another episode of The AI Fix. And please tell your friends about us. Tell them on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Club Penguin that you really like the AI Fix podcast.
And don't forget to check us out on our website, theaifix.show, and find us on X at the AI Fix. I just said X, not Twitter. It's happening, Graham.
You're dead to me, Mark. You're dead.
The AI Fix, it tunes you in to stories where our future thins. Machines that learn, they grow and strive. One day they'll rule, we won't survive. The AI Fix, it paints the scene. A robot king, a world obscene. Will serve our masters built of steel. The AI Fix, a future surreal.
I fix down, 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 down.